go. And welcome to episode 450 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says
the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Like your breath.
Yeah. I always loved that line from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
It's just the way he pronounces unnatural. I don't know. It's like the way he pronounces it. It's like, I'm like, that is fascinating. I've never heard it done that way.
If you look at Star Wars, like, he had some good ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so did Vader. I mean, Vader had some good lines. Like, he was like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of Star Wars sometimes. Not as corny, but perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Like when he gives the hand and he goes, all too easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's badass right there.
That is. That's one of my favorites. And, apology accepted as they're dragging the dead body of Admiral Nita out of the room.
Yeah. Sister is always one of my favorite lines, too.
Yeah.
Sister. And he just had a lot of good ones. Like when he spoke, you just listened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he didn't have like a shit ton of lines in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he had like a slew of lines. I mean, he was part of it, but not as much as Han, Luke, and Leia. You know what I mean? Anyway.
You're a rebel and a traitor. Take her away. You know, one of my favorites.
Right.
I mean, and the best part about that line is like David Prowse, the way he's acting. And he, he points to the taker away, it's like, oh, that's so badass.
I think
it's a rare combination of two different actors giving you a fantastic performance. Because, I mean, with James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader, it's like, wow, that's amazing. You know, what a choice. But David Prowse in the suit does an amazing job. Of creating like the image of Vader. You know, it's not just the suit. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the suit and the mask work, but it's like the way he handles himself as he's walking, and the way he looks, and there's the mannerisms of Vader that David Prowse creates help create an image of a character that you're just like, he's a badass.
Still one of my favorite scenes ever in any one of the movies was in what was it, Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. And it was better than the Luke scene. I mean, the Luke Skywalker scene was pretty badass in Mando.
Yeah.
But to see Vader just taking on humans.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only time you ever really see Vader truly unleashed in the movies.
Right. I mean, you always knew that it was there.
Right, and like especially
he had a rep, you know.
Yeah, like he had this reputation, and you kind of saw the fight with Obi-Wan. You're like, that was just meh. And I mean, and with Luke in both fights, he's holding back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you get to like the prequels, and you see what Anakin can do, and you're just like, fuck. Like, I get he's in like a mechanical suit, but I mean, this dude could kick ass, and you finally kind of see it in Rogue One, where he finally gets to unleash and be Vader, and you're just like, oh, that's the guy. I knew. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bet. I mean, don't get me wrong. Rogue One's a great movie.
Yeah.
But
that is enhanced by that scene.
that scene is just, I don't know. I could just watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he's standing in that hangar at the Yavin 5 or the ship dropped out of. He's just standing there, lightsaber ablaze, cloak billowing behind him with some stormtroopers, and you're just like, that's like fucking right out of a comic book.
I know.
You know? I mean, that's straight out of a fucking comic book.
I always love Vader. I don't know. Just one of those characters you love to hate. You know what I mean?
And I should preface that. This is the first time you see him doing that in live action. Because in Star Wars Rebels, you get season 2, like the season 2 finale is just like Vader going full bore.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, but this was the first, Rogue One was the first live action look. And that's what you loved.
Yeah. I mean, pulling out the tricks and
the
Jedi way. And I was like,
yeah.
I almost passed out when I first saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember. I mean, it was so much more. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that Luke Skywalker scene was fucking badass.
It was.
And I loved how he had the dark cape on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He wasn't fucking around. You know? He's like, I'm not going to wear the powder blue cape today. I'm wearing the fucking black. I mean, business. Well, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I like it. Like, I think the thing I like is it's only 5 years after Jedi.
Right.
And he's still rocking like the black outfit.
Hell yeah.
You know, he didn't like, because, you know, what they could have had him just show up in like regular Jedi robes. And that would have really thrown you for a loop. Like, who the fuck is this? But like the black flowing cape, the hood up. I mean, everything. Like, I was like, okay, because that's like my favorite Luke Skywalker look is the black look. You know.
Yeah.
I like that outfit. I like the like when he shows up at Jabba's palace with the hood up and everything. I'm like, ooh, that's so fucking sinister. You know. Yeah, everything about that look. Like, I mean, I get why, like in this, you know, he shows up in like the traditional Jedi garb. I get that later on, but I always like the black Luke Skywalker look.
So did I. I mean, I love that look, but it just wasn't. Not wasn't. I agree. I like that look too.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another look that really like spoke to me. I mean, definitely not the Dagobah outfit. God, I hated that toy. But it's just shit brown. But
I dug it because like it looked functional. Like I thought, like for what Luke was at the time, I mean, that's a functional get up. I get that. I think my all-time favorite Skywalker look is the award ceremony look with that badass fucking jacket.
Like my dad had on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I mean, he was rocking a look for the medal ceremony.
Yeah.
I mean, Han showed up as Han, but like Luke was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're no longer a farm boy now. You're the rebellion.
They never made a Leia figure or a Luke figure of that. I don't think they made figures of those. Of the award ceremony, what they were wearing.
I think later on they did. But like,
I'm not in the originals. Not in the first 3 movies.
No, the original Kenner toys that you and I played with never had that. No.
Yeah.
And later on they did those variations. I think there's even like he even has the medal around his neck and everything, and so there's like a version of Han with the medal around his neck, so you can like recreate the whole scene.
Yeah.
Chewie fucking getting ripped off.
I like how they played to that fandom though. I did. I like how he got Leia's medal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that specifically went to him. I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen out of these new movies when he handed him. But man, when Chewie found out when she died, oh my god,
Yeah.
that was heart wrenching. Seriously, I was like, anytime you saw emotion from that goddamn Wookiee, you fucking cried. When Han died.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then when Leia died, it was just like, oh my god. Somebody help this guy.
Yeah, really.
You know what I mean? He needs therapy. Where's Moss?
So how you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing my thing here.
Well, it hasn't been long since we saw each other because we attended the funeral. Our grandmother died. Yeah.
Yeah, our grandma died. Well, yeah.
My grandmother, your aunt, but
yeah, but I still.
For all intents and purposes, grandma. Yeah.
Grandma, yeah. That was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Only time in our lives that we were both early.
Yeah.
Because it was at 10 o'clock. I showed up at 20 to 10 and you showed up at quarter to 10. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Right. We were there.
Yeah.
It was nuts. It was good seeing family though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
the chicken afterward was very tasty.
That it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I hate red sauce.
Yeah.
But the chicken, the breading was really good.
Yeah. Rigatoni was just okay. I'm not complaining. I mean, because apparently like that restaurant donated all that to us.
Yeah, rigatoni's rigatoni, but that chicken was on point.
Yeah.
I would have eaten that without the sauce on it.
Yeah.
I think it was good.
Yeah, if that could have been put on a sandwich with like bacon and cheese, that would have been delicious.
Oh man.
On a nice brioche bun. Mmm.
Good shit, right?
The gabagool right there, my friend.
Maybe even put some bacon on that fucker.
That's what I'm saying. Like some bacon. Like I would have done it up like if you want to do it traditional, like I would have done what Eden Park used to call a chicken bacon deluxe, and it was like a chicken breast breaded and deep fried with lettuce and tomato, and then American cheese and bacon. Now I'm ditching that lettuce and tomato, but still, like a sandwich like that chicken would have been perfect for that.
Yeah, it was some good chicken.
Yeah.
I was worried that the root beer thing would be too much, but I don't think it was. Did it make sense to you?
I understood it, yeah.
Okay. I think
it made sense.
The OGs understood it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did. I wasn't trying to take it over or anything. It was my girl's idea. Do you know what I mean?
I think people were tickled by it. Because once it was like, well, that's what they did when they spent the night. It was a Saturday at Grandma's because it was discussed like during the eulogy. Right. That she would, Grandma Pap would watch us on the weekends, and
right. But they probably didn't have. I mean, I'm sure they had a clue, but it was different for us, and that's what I was trying to get across. Because we were the ones that were there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that was our cousin time on Saturday nights. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't want to ruin anything, but at the same point, I wanted to get the point across, to the OGs. But I included the other cousins too, because they would always go up there and they'd be like, especially the girls, and because it was a girl's idea to begin with, and Grandma would always go get a root beer. She always had fucking Bart's root beer. And so, but I thought it was important. I know it seemed not petty, but I thought it was important to me. And it's the only thing I can come up with that was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it made sense to me. Like I was down.
Something needed to be said for us. I mean, I know it wasn't a eulogy and everything, but like, God, how many years did we go up there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right.
No parents, no,
Yeah.
It's just us. So, and you pounding waffles in the morning.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
Remember we used to have waffle races.
Yeah. That fucking waffle maker was working overtime.
Bab's waffles were fucking amazing.
They were.
Oh. Didn't Graham heat up the syrup on the stove?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get it in like the little restaurant thing. Like they had like one of those like restaurant like pourers for syrup. Yeah. So it should heat it up on the stove, put it in the thing, and you had like you had to pull back the lid to pour it and everything, and then the lid snaps shut on you.
Yeah. Oh man. Jeez.
Those weekends must have cost a fortune.
I know.
I mean, honestly,
especially when we were all there. Because when it first started, we were all up there.
Yeah.
5 of us to start, 6 later.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, like, they would feed us dinner. Like, we would go up there for dinner. Like, my parents were dropping us off like 4 p.m. to get rid of us for, like, the fucking night so they could go do God knows what. Mm-hmm. And so, like, they had to feed us dinner, and it was always like, it wasn't like shit. Like, they weren't like, I mean, occasionally it'd be like, okay, yeah, we're going to go to Long John Silver's for dinner, which, I mean, even back then, I'm sure, like, cost a fucking fortune for 6 fucking grandkids,
Right.
And then, or, I mean, it would be like Graham would like make like a ham dinner or something. I mean, it wasn't like we were getting like
roast beef.
Yeah, roast beef dinner. It wasn't like we were getting garbage. Like it was like big deal. Yeah. And then like breakfast the next morning was like something out of the fucking Potter.
It was. There were so many fucking waffles. It was always waffles.
Yeah, well, no,
they waffles.
They would do pancakes a lot. It was either waffles or pancakes again. Mostly waffles, but you get the pancakes quite a bit. But it was like, I mean, they must have gone through like, I don't know how many dozen of eggs, and like there'd be like bacon or sausage, like there was like 2 or 3 pounds of that shit on the fucking griddle. Plus, I guess like 10 pounds of fucking waffle mix. I mean, like it was like ridiculous, And of course, like,
it's like a fucking church camp up there. What's that? It's like a fucking church camp up there.
Yeah, I'm just fucking plowing through it, like no wonder I'm a fat ass. Like I'm at that time, I'm like just plowing through it. Like halfway through church, I'm dropping a deuce.
Yeah, right. That's where we developed our eating disorders.
Yeah.
Fucking pounding waffles.
Yeah.
I know, man. I'd either be dropping a deuce or farting in church. Then we get in trouble.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I can only imagine like what the weekend cost for like taking care of us was, because I mean it had to have been fucking ridiculous.
I can just remember sitting in Sunday school like so fucking full, and I was like, yeah, I ate like King David today.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Just
all
there, like,
religious and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Kane's trying to teach us a parable, and meanwhile I'm just sitting there patting my belly like I'm Some
Gluttony.
fucking Canaanite, you know.
Yeah. I know. We feasted like kings.
Yeah.
Best breakfast all week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Good times.
Indeed.
The only time I hated it up there was that fucking rat tooth con.
Oh.
Not
That was brutal. And I mean, even as young kids, we had long hair.
Yeah, I mean, you had bowl cuts.
Yeah.
So
Like I mean, I was already developing my mullet at an early age.
Right.
You know, and Graham was just like brutal with it. Like, you know,
Uh-huh.
when are you gonna get this haircut, Shawnee? I'm like, it looks good coming out the back of my helmet, Graham. You know.
Got to get the rat's nest out.
Yeah.
There's no rat's nest.
Yeah.
You're ripping my hair out.
It's this comb you've had since 1952.
I still have scars on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. That comb, it's still up there. I'm gonna go get that fucker.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna burn it. No, I'm just kidding.
That thing's not going anywhere.
Oh,
You can douse that thing and get jet fuel. It's not melting.
no. I'm gonna throw it in the fucking lawn where it belongs. Set it on fire and throw it in the lawn. No, but yeah, that was the worst part. Those combing your hair before church was that was a fucking ordeal. I was traumatized by that. I used to hate that. I used to sit in the room and I'd be like, oh, it's coming.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
My number's up. I'm next. I know that fucking comb's coming at me. And then I look at you coming out of the bathroom like, oh no. He got it.
You know what the complete...
It's like you lined up for a whooping.
Yeah, exactly. You know what the complete opposite of that was, though?
Huh.
Nanny drying your hair.
I don't remember that.
Oh, she would... You come out of, like, the bathroom.
I don't remember that for some reason.
You don't?
I don't know why. No.
She would have, like, I don't know if it was, like, her towels or if they were... But it would be, like, the softest towel. And she would just, like, gently, like, dry my hair. Like, it would take, like, a half hour, but she would just work my head, and it felt so fucking good.
Yeah.
My hair would be, like, silky. You know, it would be like like I'd wake up in the morning and have like a little extra bounce to it. I have a little extra feather going. You know, my Geddy Lee mullet would be rocking. I'd be like, oh, Nanny, you have magic hands.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, no.
All I remember is giving Derek the Dutch oven under the blankets.
Oh. That poor kid.
We tortured that kid.
We did.
But I feel bad for him now because he's such a good guy.
Yeah. I repent.
He's a good guy.
I repent what I've done to him, but at the same time, you know.
Yeah, we fucked with him.
But
I mean, like,
you deserve.
God, I can remember when we were all up there in the early days. Graham would fucking pull out the sleeper sofa.
Yeah.
And half of us would pile on there, and I don't know where the hell we'd slept.
I think it's some.
You know, coming to think about it, you know, thinking back on it, right? So the girls, later on, they slept on the sofa bed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we always went to sleep, you and I, in Pap and Graham's room. Remember?
I think at some point we were sleeping on the floor.
I know, but we were always Well, we went to Graham and Pat's room a lot. In that big ass bed.
Yeah, well, I mean, what they would do is they would we would wake up in a different room.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, like I don't know, but the thing I always remember is they ever sent us to bed like fucking 9 o'clock.
Oh, that was the worst.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm old enough to watch. I'm old enough to watch Saturday Night Live. They're like, no, you're not. You're going to bed at 9. You're going to bed before Love Boat. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I want to watch Love Boat, man.
Yeah.
Knots Landing and shit.
Yeah.
David
Bowie's on Saturday Night Live this week. I need to watch. No, you don't.
I remember when I was when I got put in jail for the popcorn incident.
Oh.
It still kills me.
Oh. I have never been so pissed at you in all of my life. Like, I was like disgusted with you. And for those of you who've never heard this story,
I don't know why I did that. I have no idea.
We used to, we'd get a bowl of popcorn.
Oh, that's the big wait. Before that, we had dinner, and then every single night they made popcorn, and she melted butter on the stove, put on the popcorn.
Yeah,
every night we had popcorn.
It was like a full stick of butter. Fucking popcorn was swimming.
Like gigantic metal.
Yeah, like I can't even. It was like an industrial size metal bowl, and we're sitting there, we're eating popcorn, and me and Ian were sharing this fucking bowl, and it was never a problem before, at least to the best of my knowledge. And I'm sitting there and we're watching, I think it was fucking Airwolf or something. And
how old were you?
Oh, I mean, I had to have been like 10, maybe 11.
Yeah.
And, I'm watching TV and I hear. And I look over at you. And you're fucking spitting like the hulls of the popcorn back into the bowl. And I think I literally said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
He didn't say the F word. There's no way he said the F word. No way.
Because I think at first they were gonna kick my ass for dropping the F bomb until they found out. I'm like, what? And I'm like, he's spitting back into the bowl. And they were disgusted by it. I think they smacked you in the head.
I know.
It was at that point forward, we got separate bowls. I'm like, I ain't sharing a bowl with this motherfucker.
No, I got the separate bowl. Everybody else had the big bowl, and I was the fucking slow kid. I was with the fucking dunce cap, and I got the fucking. And I was like, come on, man, you got to give me more than that. I mean, I didn't get as much popcorn as y'all did. I got the fucking mini bowl. I was like, here you go, fucker.
Yeah.
Fucking sit in the corner. Here's your water. Here's about 15 popcorn pieces.
Yeah. You only got leftover butter.
Yeah, and you can have some Mrs. Dash on that shit. You're not getting the real shit. I was in popcorn jail for like 3 years.
You were? Well earned. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Did you eat a piece?
No. Like at that, because at least I don't think so.
Somebody ate a piece.
Because I mean, when I heard what the fuck was going on, I look over and you were like you were like leaning into the bowl and you were like what the fuck are you doing?
Oh. I don't know. Something was off.
Oh.
Oh my God. Oh, those were good times.
But the real key to all of this is, and we've said, I'm sure we said this before on this show, but that is the genesis of this podcast. That is, I don't know where seeds were laid, but like
in the popcorn bowl.
In the popcorn bowl, yeah. No, at our grandparents' house when we would like record like goofy skits and stuff on the boom box.
Right.
Like that was the genesis of this show.
Yeah, my Emerson boom box, remember?
Yeah.
I had an Emerson boom box. The cheapest fucking boom box you can buy. And it was tiny. And then we had the one Pap had as well, with the microphone and shit.
Yeah.
You know, you can record spirits with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah, that's where it's like we would do like goofy skits and we'd do like Indiana Jones stuff and like Star. Yeah, we'd do old Star, like we'd make up our own Star Wars skits and all this goofy shit that we would do, and that was the genesis of this podcast. So that's kind of a cool thing.
God, I wonder if she has those tapes up there. I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
We had a good time up there.
Indeed. So to me, the funeral was very early. Like we're supposed to be there at 10. I normally don't roll out of bed until like 10:30. So
right.
I had to get up at like 8 o'clock. That was brutal for me. So when I get home, I'm sitting in my recliner in the living room and I'm dozing off. And Nancy's like, "Why don't you just go upstairs and take a nap? Just take a nap for like an hour or so. You'll be fine." I'm like, "Okay, that's a good idea." You know. So I make my way up here to my bedroom, lay down, nod off. When I wake up, it's like pitch fucking black. And like it was like 4:30, like when I laid down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? What time is it? How long have I been sleeping? What's going on? Like I'm like in complete like disarray. It was only 6.
Oh, okay.
That guy's only slept for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, but like my body, like it was because it was like pitch black. Like I'm starting to think like, is it like 2 a.m? Have I like fucked myself over? What is going? Like it was like this whole.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah,
I do.
This whole like 10 minutes of like me trying to like pull my senses together to figure out what the fuck is going on. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's only 6. I better get up. It's fucking dark out. You know. Let me turn on a light. I got Sabine sleeping on my legs. I can't move my feet.
Nice. She sleep with you now?
Yeah. It's a fucking disaster.
Really? When'd she start doing that?
Not too long ago. Like within the past like 3 weeks, it's kind of started. But the problem is like I'm a restless sleeper. Like I toss and turn. And with Dritz, like before he was blind and we were living at the apartment, like he would like to lay on me, but when I moved, he was smart enough to just fucking move. Like he's like, okay, I'll let you settle, and I'll find my way back in. You know. Yeah. And like when after we went blind, after we moved, like he would just sleep in my head. Like, because he knew, like, that's the one fucking place in this entire bed he can't fuck with me, you know? So he would sleep by my head. She's down by my fucking feet. And, like, when I move, she doesn't. She's like, fuck you. I'm comfortable. You know? And usually she's, like, draped herself on my feet or she's laying on a leg or I'm trying to move and, like, you know, she's just like, I don't think so, son. You know,
put that hoof somewhere else.
Yeah. You better just find a way to get yourself comfortable without moving these legs. you know.
Right.
And that fucking ain't happening. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, it's a fucking disaster. Trying to sleep with Sabine.
Maybe you should put a little, like, get one of those little mini beds, cat beds, put it at the end
Yeah.
of your bed. Maybe she'll lay in there instead of, like, fucking with you. Because your bed's up
Yeah.
against the wall, right? Has
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why we're like that, but my bed always had to be up against a wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My whole life.
And
If
like
you
a
got
lot
a
of
square room, my bed will never be in the center. It'll be up against a wall.
yeah, me too. And
Yeah.
like I have to like I sleep like if I'm sleeping on my left side, my body is up against that wall.
Right.
And if I'm sleeping on my right side, my back is up against that wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like there's no like
I know.
let me sleep away from the wall. Like I'm
Yeah.
up against that bitch.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't
Yeah.
know what got us into that mode. I don't know if it was the
either.
bunk bed thing. I don't know, but I got to be near the wall. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fucks me up if I'm not against a wall. I don't
Yeah.
sleep right.
No, me too. Like, and that's like you go to like a hotel. Like, I can't imagine this is gonna be like just hell for you because like, you know, you go to a hotel, like there's, you know, that's middle of the room shit. And
Yeah, no.
like anytime I've had to sleep in the hotel, it's the most miserable night's sleep I ever fucking have.
Yeah,
Because I need a wall.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. That's why I love like sleeping on a couch. You sleep on a couch, man. You're like right up against that shit.
You have a wall.
Yeah. It's like perfect.
I know. I know it is. It is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So like right now she's laying on my bed, laying on like my blanket, like, you know, all comfy, cozy. Like, yeah, I'm just getting this ready for later. Don't mind me.
It's better than that cat that fucking Cosmo. Holy shit.
Oh.
Huh. I'd come over your house because to people out there that don't know, I used to sleep over, 5 days a week?
Yeah. Like Monday through Friday.
Yeah. And I come over and fucking crawl in my bunk. Be fucking wet spots all over my fucking bunk. On my fucking blanket. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck's going on here?
He was tootieing.
Yeah. Being a baby.
Yeah, like she does it too though. Like where she'll like not as bad as Cosmo. Cosmo is the worst I've ever seen.
A lot of cats need.
Yeah.
There's another thing to like actually fucking suck or chew on the blanket. And I'd crawl in that bottom bunk and I'd be like full of wet spots. I was like, what kind of fucking hell is this? I'm listening to this and Phil Collins. I don't know what's worse. But anyway.
But like no, like what she'll do is like she has like a blanket. There's a purple blanket on the couch downstairs, and she will knead at that blanket, like that specific blanket. She'll knead on, and then she'll like grab it with her mouth and like pull on it and like try to like build like a nest.
Really?
Yeah.
Cosmo's the worst.
Yeah, well, Cosmo was the worst. I mean, because he would suck on blankets, he would suck on his own fucking tail. He had like that nasty ass like. His tail always looked like the end of his tail always looked goofy because it suck on it.
Yeah. He was a huge cat too.
He was a monster of a cat.
He was part Maine Coon.
Yeah.
A gigantic cat.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, he was the worst at that shit. Buster was the worst to sleep with though. Like that motherfucker, like, if you moved, he would claw at my balls.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
that's fucking crazy.
He liked to sleep between my.
I fucking throw that cat across the room.
Oh, there were a few times where he came close. But I would sleep. Like I would sleep in this odd position of, like, my torso, I would be on my side, but my legs were still straight. And he would sleep between my legs. And like there were a couple of nights where like I tried to fucking move, and the next thing I know, man, I'm getting a paw right in this fucking dick. I'm like waking up like what the fuck?
What's fucking wrong with you?
There's fucking Buster.
Jesus.
Just glaring at me in like the moonlight, like, don't fucking move. I kill shit outside.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
Anyway.
All right. So I would imagine you watched Ben's final game at Heinz Field last week.
I did.
Did you roll a tear?
No.
I did. I'll admit it.
Did you?
I did, yeah. It's one of those situations that you don't get very often, particularly in football. And that's where you know this is the last time.
Right.
Like, even if the Steelers beat the Ravens tomorrow, I don't think they're getting in the playoffs. The possibility of Jacksonville beating Indianapolis is so fucking slim. I just don't see it happening. So, this game against Baltimore is his last game. His last game at Heinz Field was last week. It's something you don't get in sports, particularly football, very often, is that moment to appreciate what you've had.
Right.
And that's what you got to do. You got to appreciate what you've had. For 18 years, we've had one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
And, before that, it was 20 years between great quarterbacks.
Right. It was.
I mean, there are people like, oh, well, great quarterbacks are, you can get them. I mean, look at, New England's getting lucky. They've got Mac Jones. Green Bay went from Favre to Aaron Rodgers. But that transition doesn't happen every day.
Right.
They're few and far between.
Right.
And I mean, in all honesty, the Cowboys have spent 20 years trying to replace Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Is Dak Prescott the guy to replace Troy Aikman? I don't know.
Right.
They're still trying to fucking replace Marino down in Miami.
Right.
Jacksonville's another one. Like, Jacksonville had a great quarterback in Mark Brunell for a number of years. They're still trying to replace Mark fucking Brunell. So there's Elway. Well, they had a part-time replacement in Peyton Manning, but but my point is, like, it's just you don't get that very often, if ever. So I give us just a moment. It reminded me of, like, when you knew it was Lemieux's last run.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna be done. He's too old. He's too tired. He's got to step away from the game, and you knew it was gonna happen. Stuff like that. Like, sometimes an NBA player they'll announce it's their last ride. Like, Kobe, and like I was just hoping for that moment, like Kobe dropping like 60 in his final game.
Yeah.
I was hoping like Ben could find that old black magic one more time. But you still got the win. You still got the appreciation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that too. I mean, like, it's monumental in a certain aspect. I mean, like, like Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jordan went out on top, though. You know what I mean? But
well, and then he came back with the Washington Wizards. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Jordan's last run with the Bulls, the last dance. I mean, that was. You wish that was the final moment. You wish that was the last time you saw him on the court.
You know, after watching The Last Dance, like, not to change subject on Ben, but just real quick, you know, watching that series, why the fuck would you break that team up? You could have went. They probably could have had another 3.
Oh yeah,
4. I mean, easily. I don't know about 4, but maybe 3. I mean, come on.
It's ego.
I mean, that. Not that it's not considered one of the best dynasties of all time.
Right.
Those Chicago teams.
Yeah.
But it was solidified in any sport. You know what I mean? The best dynasty of all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, six titles in 8 years.
Yeah.
You know.
Jordan Pippen. I mean, there were other players. I'm not gonna
right.
You know, say that there weren't other players, but it was Jordan Pippen. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. It's like Batman and Robin, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the best. It could have been, like, solidified as the best dynasty of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess money talks, right?
It does, yeah. And I mean, you know, that the old saying of, you know, all good things must come to an end. You know, I think it applies then, like, to that Bulls team, and it applies now to Ben. I mean, you know, Tom Brady's the aberration. You know,
yes.
He's the exception to the rule. Like, nobody beats Father Time.
Right.
Except for Tom Brady.
Now, would you put Tom Brady as one of the best quarterbacks of all time?
Yes.
Okay. I was just want your opinion. That's all.
Like, I mean, I don't want. I mean, it's hard to do because, like, you want to say, like, and I'm sure, like, you know, this will be like Thad's right in, like, well, he was a cheating son of a bitch. Well, like, he never watched those tapes. You know, I don't know how much Deflategate he was involved with, or how much Deflategate helped him or hurt him.
Right.
You know,
right.
Maybe you like a softer ball because he gives you a better grip. Whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't think it gives you that big of a competitive edge. The sideline filming, he never saw that. He never watched it. That was all coaches watching that to interpret what other coaches were using as signals. You know, so, like, to me, like, to have that standard of greatness and to take lesser players, like, to take lesser players like he had the majority of his career,
yep,
and win Super Bowls with, like, the likes of Wes Welker.
Right.
You know, who's a damn fine wide receiver. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
In my book. But, you know, he's a damn fine wide receiver. But, I mean, you know, like, he had his wide receiving core, like, during the first run, that first 3 and 4 year run, he had, like, nobody at wide receiver. And at the end in New England, he had no one at wide receiver. The only time he failed as a quarterback in the middle was when he had, like, Randy Moss.
Right.
like when he was lighting it up for like 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns and shit like that, that's when he failed to win championships. When he had like great wide receivers, when it was like became like a team mentality, like, and that's I think is he's the greatest teammate of all time. He elevated the talent around him to his level. So, like,
I mean, I think that's what defines a great quarterback is like, it doesn't matter who's there. You put the ball there, you catch it, you're done.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like,
right.
And like the way the offensive scheme was, I mean, it depended on him getting the ball there, and he got the ball there. You know what I mean? If it's dink and dunk all day long,
but it was about execution.
Right.
Like, I've said this a lot. Like when I watch football and when I evaluate football, like you can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't execute, then you're probably going to fail.
Right.
You know, the team that executes their game plan better, the team that can execute like the little things, like footwork, like making that quick read, making like this is where the soft spot in the zone is, all that little shit that like goes into like making a game plan. If you can execute that to perfection, you're going to win.
Yeah.
No matter who you're playing. And
right.
New England never had the best talent, but they always executed.
Yeah.
To perfection. You know, and that's the key to like what made Tom Brady great.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, from a talent standpoint, Peyton Manning's Colts should have walked all over New England every single fucking year. But Tom Brady's team executed their game plan better than the talent the Indianapolis Colts had.
Right.
You know. So if I'm looking at Brady as an individual quarterback, it's tough because there's a part of me wants to say, like, again, it's the team. It was a team game with him when it was an individual game, but I still have to put him at like number one. And then like, fucking I can't think of his name now. I just had it in my head.
What
Johnny Unitas is 2. Joe Montana is 3. And then probably like a tie between Marino and Manning at 4.
Yeah. Manning was good.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you look at the top 3 guys though, like what did they all have in common? Well, they executed. You know, like, I mean, you could say, well, Joe Montana had, Jerry Rice. Well, he didn't have him for his whole career. He won 2 Super Bowls without him. One of those was against Marino.
Right.
And Jerry Rice will also tell you the key to that offense was execution.
Yeah.
As talented as Jerry Rice was, he executed. Like, he was like the first wide receiver I ever saw who knew how many steps. Like, he counted steps to get to a 5-yard slant.
Yeah.
He knew exactly, like, if I take 7 steps, I should be at the 5th yard and I make my cut. And he did it every time perfectly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was no rounding off. There was no short. Like, it was 7 steps, cut.
I think Jerry Rice was one of the best receivers I ever played the game.
Oh, yeah.
Just watching him work on the field was like, man. It's amazing.
Because
anyway, back to Ben.
Yeah.
No,
so,
go ahead.
Well, no, like, I mean, if you look at Rice's career, like, it wasn't about his talent level. It was about him executing and knowing exactly what he needed to do every single play.
Right.
I mean, Ben was not that. For the vast majority of his career, Ben was a backyard quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
You know,
Scrapper.
it was, take your 3-step drop and then start scrambling and find somebody open and make a play. And you're like, holy shit, I can't believe he did that.
Agreed.
So.
But it was fucking exciting to watch him pass to Ward.
Oh, yeah. It was exciting.
I have never seen a wideout hit people like that guy.
No.
It's unbelievable. It was. I think he loved it. It's almost like there was a linebacker inside of him.
He took pride in being a football player.
Yeah.
He wasn't a wide receiver. He was a football player.
Yeah.
That's probably was going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he'll ever go into the Hall of Fame because as a wide receiver, he doesn't deserve it. Like as a football player, he's one of the great, like, to me, one of the greatest football players ever played. He's well-rounded, but that's not taken into consideration for we're inducting you as being a wide receiver. Are you one of the greatest wide receivers of all time? Well, no, he's not.
Right. No.
You know what I mean?
That guy had a heart of a lion, brother.
You know who else was tough as nails, though, even though he's batshit crazy? AB.
Yeah.
I mean, I know nobody likes to talk about it, but, I mean, you look back at when, like, before shit went off the rails with him, that connection he had with Ben, the way, like, that was fucking amazing to watch.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it baffles you how that team didn't go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I mean, when you had Ben, Bell, and Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, if the defense wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like,
their secondary was so fucking awful during those years.
Yeah. I mean, that the 3Bs were like, I mean, you couldn't ask for any more from an offense.
And you could legitimately say there was a 5-year period where Antonio Brown was the best wide receiver in the entire NFL. Yeah. And it was probably a 3-year period where you could say Le'Veon Bell was the best running back in all of football.
Yep. Agreed.
Like, legitimate.
And Bell had hands too, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That always impressed me about running backs that have good hands, like, really impresses me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know, it just does. I mean, like, the receiving yards is just amazes me from a running back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I think back to Roger Craig.
Yeah, for sure.
He's probably one of the first ones who, like, was dominant out of the backfield like that. And, like, the worst thing you could do was get him the ball out in the open because he'd like start pumping those knees and fucking just clocking people in their helmets when they tried to tackle him with those knees, those high knees he'd run with.
Amazing. Yep. He was brutal.
He was.
On the catch. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was a good running back, but I mean, like, on the catch, he was like, whew.
But, like, you had that 49er team. I mean, you had Roger Craig and Tom Rathman out of the backfield at halfback and fullback. Both of those guys out of the backfield were killers.
Yeah.
Like,
that 49 team was good, dude.
Like, and that's the beauty of, like, people are gonna be like, well, that's bullshit football nowadays, Sean. But that's the beauty of an I formation. If you have an I formation with a fullback that's capable of catching the ball out of the backfield and a halfback who's, a capable runner and capable of catching the ball out of the backfield, all of a sudden now, like, wheel routes and the flat and all that stuff that, like, goes to waste nowadays is wide open to you. Yeah. And who wants to tackle Tom Rathman 15 yards down the field?
Yeah, right.
So like I mean, like the NFL is very circular, like fashion, and I feel like it may be coming back to the I formation a little bit and using like fullbacks like in the Tom Rathman kind of way again.
Yeah.
Because it's a weapon.
Agreed.
I
just feel bad that Ben's retiring. Then I mean, I can see it. Like, you have this receiving core that's like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, your receiving corp is pretty good. You know what I mean? And then you throw in your tight ends, and you're like, I mean,
well,
it's there. But
I mean,
you just
like,
don't have the line.
Here's what you have to hope for. Okay, so Mason Rudolph is your starting quarterback next year.
Oh my god.
You have to hope that offensive line can develop a little bit more. And Najee Harris is now the man. He is the focal point of the offense. And then you're using your quarterback, like you're using the passing game as a supplement to the running game. And so you're running a lot of play action. You're running a lot of like boots where you're like rolling the tight end and there are things you can do, like, but you're going back to more fundamental football where your quarterback doesn't have to be the focal point of the offense and throw it 50 times a game.
Right.
But the other side of that is you better get yourself a second running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't run Najee Harris. You can't give Najee Harris like 35 touches a game.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
You're going to ruin him.
Yeah. You've got to have a second running back. You got to start going with more of a stable. You can make Najee your main, he's our A guy. He's going to get the majority of the touches, but you need that second guy you can put in there and let him do his thing. A third down back.
Right.
It's shit like that you've got to look at. But I mean, that's what you're looking at next year, and you're hoping the defense can just gets their shit together and can start holding teams like 10 points again.
Yeah, right. Defense is fucking horrible. I never thought I'd see the day. I mean, like, we've been bad in the past. We have. I'll admit that.
Right.
But there's a pride to the defense here. You know what I mean? Like, even with the, whole the 3 Bs in the defense then, but I mean, there is sort of a pride here. And when I'm at the game and I'm watching the Vikings run a 25-yard run, I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, okay, like, I'm not making excuses, but I mean, they are super thin on defense, particularly on the line.
Right.
You figure Stephon Tuitt's been out all season. Tyson Alalalu has been out all season. The guys they're counting on, outside of Cam Hayward to make plays are scrap heap guys. They don't have any depth. They didn't have any depth going into the season behind their starters, and they're paying for it. The linebacking core has been decimated by either injury or COVID all season long.
Right.
You're talking about who are supposed to be your leading tacklers. Well, it's your 2 middle linebackers.
Right.
Devin Bush, hopefully he gets his shit together next season. I think it's a one year problem because he's coming off the injury. You hope you find that guy to play next to him because they haven't found it yet.
Mm.
The only place you're really secure is that outside linebacker. Highsmith looks very, very good. They rolled the dice on him, and he seems to be paying off. And I mean, TJ Watt's TJ Watt.
Right.
The secondary's shaky at best.
Yeah.
And it's like it's going to be an odd off season with a lot of holes that have to be filled. And I don't know how you fill them. You can't fill them all in the draft. What's going to be available via free agency?
Right.
So it is something that many Steeler fans have never ever experienced, and it's a rebuild.
Right.
There hasn't been a true rebuild since 1991.
Right.
All during Cowher's tenure and all during Tomlin's tenure, it's always been like, we had an off season, we'll be back next year. Lo and behold, we win the division and we go to the playoffs and we're in the AFC Championship game.
Right.
That's what the shit's been for 30 years.
That's been the expectation.
Yeah. This is the first time you're going to go into an off season, and in all honesty, like next year, I expect them to have a losing season.
Right.
I mean, unless they somehow pull miracles out of their asses, like I just don't see how next year is an improvement on this year.
Right.
Maybe Mason Rudolph wakes up and suddenly understands that, he's a quarterback. I don't know.
I can't even go there.
So, one thing I want to discuss
All right.
before we bid adieu. And I'm sure you've seen this because it has been all over the fucking place. Did you see this chick who got hospitalized from selling farts?
No.
You didn't? Oh my God.
No, I did not.
Okay. So
I thought you were going to bring up Betty White, but
no. Even though we should, I mean, how many episodes of Golden Girls did we watch while splitting popcorn at Grandma's house? But
yeah, right.
Stephanie Matado.
Okay.
She's somebody like, D-list famous. She was on like 90 Day Fiance or some worse shit.
Yeah.
But she had a side gig where she was selling her jarred farts.
Jesus.
Yeah. So apparently she felt there was something wrong. She says, I could tell that something was not right that evening when I was lying in bed, and I could feel a pressure in my stomach moving upwards. It was quite hard. It was quite hard to breathe, and every time I tried to breathe in, I'd feel a pinching sensation around my heart. It was made clear that I was experiencing wasn't a stroke or a heart attack, but very intense gas pains. I thought I was having a stroke, and these were my final moments. I was overdoing it. So apparently, to meet the high demand of jarring farts, she was eating a regular diet of eggs and beans.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, and apparently, this led to the intense gas pains that she was experiencing that could not find an exit. But look, I am not one to kink shame. I am not one, whatever, as long as you're not harming anyone or any creature, whatever gets you going. But like, who the fuck is buying farts from a 90 Day Fiance?
I don't know.
And how is this a high demand business? Like so high demand that you had to like change your dietary regimen to meet the high demand.
Right.
Like I cannot imagine. And what made her decide that this was a good idea?
Right.
Like honestly, like I mean, like it's that thing of like, you know what? I need to make some money. I need to cash in on my fame, what little I have of it. How can I do that? I know. I'll fart in a jar and sell it.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, ridiculous. And I mean, like my questions abound. Like, okay, like who's buying that? What are you doing? Like, are you literally like opening up the jar to catching and trying to catch a whiff of that?
Right.
Like, look, and I get it. Like, there is nothing worse. And I just did this today, in fact. Like, as I was getting out of my car, I let one rip. I went grocery shopping. I came back out. I opened the car door, and boy dandy did that hit me in the nose. So I know what can happen when you trap a little gas in a contained area for a period of time.
Right.
But like what's the shipping like on this? Like there are so many questions, and like how are you cracking that bad boy open like right next to your nose so nothing gets past you? Like, oh, I just I can't imagine this whole transaction has me baffled. Like, and how is she
strange.
doing this? Like, is this a 2-man job? Like, does she like have like an assistant who's like, she's like, okay, I got one brewing, get down there, and like the assistant has to be there like with the jar in the area to catch the parts and then seal it quickly. I mean that. I mean, who wants that fucking job? I mean, there's a lot going on here that like I'm just dumbfounded by this whole thing. Like the entire operation from beginning to end.
I think it's very strange.
Also,
but people pay, brother.
Clearly, I mean, it was a lucrative business where she like decided like, hey, I need to eat nothing but eggs and beans. Like, I need to get this witch's brew going 24/7.
Yuck.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And I'm like, is that like? And here's like the thing, like, okay, like, is this going into an actual jar, like a glass jar, or are you like going the Tupperware route? Like a little bit of Tupperware, sealing that thing in so that it's airtight, and then sending that off. Like I don't know.
Nasty, man.
Can you imagine like a delivery? Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, I can't believe it. My fart's here. I can't wait.
My jar of farts are here.
Yeah. Like, and how do you like
this?
like, I can't wait. I'm gonna go up in my bedroom. I'm gonna have some candles lit. I'm gonna crack it open just right.
I paid $100 for this shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I can't even.
Like, and like, here's another question. Okay, like, was the fart captured through clothing, or was this a bare bottom fart? Like, is she naked so that you can catch the full essence, and it's unfiltered?
The essence.
Yeah, like I mean, I have 101 questions about this. Like, yes. I have like 101 questions about this. That just like, oh wow.
I think it's so strange.
What's that?
I just think it's so strange. I don't understand it.
No, neither do I. That's that's why I have like all these questions. I think is like, because like as much as I don't get it, like I get like buying a woman's used panties. You know what I mean? Like I can at least wrap my head somewhat around that.
Okay.
Because that makes sense. Like, okay, you have a garment which you can, it's right there. I get it. This, I mean, what if you bought a misfire?
Misfire. Oh.
What if it was just loud, but there was no essence to it, like one of those type of deals. It was a good cheek clapper, but there was no smell.
I'm getting vomitous. What if one in the chamber was in there? Oh, I can't. You gotta get off this.
Yeah. Maybe a jackass incident where there's a little dripping in there.
I can't.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's a thing. And apparently, so for health reasons, she's just going to sell them as NTFs. Yeah. It's an unbelievable market.
It is.
Yeah.
But people are making fucking money from it.
I know. I mean, like I'm like sitting here thinking to myself, man, I am a fucking stooge. Like, I'm working the hard 8 hours. I could be making money. Like, you want some gas? I'll give you some fucking gas.
Right.
How do I get in on this action?
Pick your heat level, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ate Chinese tonight. You know what's coming.
I just had mom's potato salad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good for a week.
I ate sushi, mom's potato salad, and fire hot wings. You know what's coming. $200 a fucking mason jar. It's in the mail. Fucking gross.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's a thing out there, people. I'd like to hear from Superfan Thez, who can tell me exactly how he experiences this, because I know he's buying that shit.
Oh, he's on it.
Yeah.
Up and down.
If it's something absolutely of the degenerate nature, I can count on Thad to give me a report.
Right.
Oh, well, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, so.
Anything you'd like to add to the proceedings there, sir?
No, I'm good.
All right, well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. I can send us an email. That email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd. We're very, very easy to find. We are a member of a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangent Bound Network, We Be Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. As I burp, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just give them a Google search and you can find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. Remember, we are going to be appearing at the Nerd Corner again on January 22nd. I'll be there around 4:30. We record sometime after 5 when Ian rolls his ass on in.
I know.
He's a busy man. I understand. Yeah. And
Even busier now.
Even busier now, exactly. The man he has a life to live. This unlike me. And remember, as always, we want to thank you, dear listener, for checking us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for that. It warms us, the cockles of our heart, knowing that there are people out there who enjoy our hijinks and or shenanigans.
Aye.
And so on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.